Two wheels are better than four. From the mountains to the shore, find us rolling up to the pub. We're 17 Scooters Club. So sorry for my yawns. I just woke up. Well, first, my alarm went off at 8, and I'm like, what the heck? No, I have off today. Why is my alarm going off?
I hate when that happens, when you wake up and you're like, wait a second.
You talk yourself out of it.
What do today? And you actually have to think about it.
Mm-hmm. No, that happens to me every time I have an alarm because I don't really have to do things in the morning that often. So I'll set an alarm and then I'll wake up and then I'll be like, wait, no, we don't have anything to do. And then I will turn it off and then realize that, oh, wait, I actually had something to do. But at least I woke up at like 8:30 to Tate. Tate like will kind of like playfully yap at me to get me up. And then he was doing that and I'm like, wait, we're podcasting today. But yeah, I was so sleepy because last night I get out of work at like 8:30, which isn't too bad. Go to the gym, come home, and I had my gravel delivered, which was exciting. And it's, for those of you who don't know, I tried to grow grass like we live in a climate of New York and we don't, and it just didn't work. It didn't grow. So I'm like, okay, we'll make it look like my favorite winery. Got the gravel delivered. They laid out half of it. It does look a little bit more like base than gravel. And for those of you who don't know, base is like ground up building. But I think it'll work. It'll do its job. Anyways, I had 2 massive piles. And so when I got home from the gym, I'm like, I'm already sweaty. The sun's not out. I'm going to do it. So I laid the gravel most of the way down for like 2 or 3 hours listening to podcasts. And then I was like, I'm dead. I need to go to bed now. So yeah, that's been exciting.
Did you say that base is knocked down buildings?
SpaghettiOs. Katie's frozen.
Are you frozen? I was trying to reconnect.
Because Katie's frozen. I lost Katie. Of course,
I'm back. I'm back.
Like my go-to to sing
You're
about
frozen.
it.
Can you hear me?
Gone like a freight
Fully
train,
down.
gone like yesterday, gone like a
Liv, can you hear me?
Civil War, bang bang. All right.
Okay, I'm back.
Katie, come back. There they were. I was saying to you.
Oh
no! I was like, yeah. I was just like, she gone like a freight train, gone like yesterday.
I'm sorry,
It just came to me.
Yeah, we had internet problems the other day and then they were fixed, and I've been on meetings all day, and then now I get onto this one and it doesn't work.
Oh, you're
I keep muting because Tony drives me freaking nuts with his, Jesus. Am I back?
You're going back and forth. Uh-oh. Oh, no. It's okay.
Okay. I keep muting because Tony drives me nuts with his nails on the
Tony baloney.
I don't know if you can hear him in the background.
Katie, why don't you tell your burning in hell story?
Oh my God. So when we first bought our house we moved in December or January. So it was like wintertime, New York, it was cold. Our house was not well insulated. We moved in, the people hadn't lived here in a long time. So I was like, okay, this is great. So we moved in, it was snowing. And so long story short, we ended up spending like $1,000 a month on oil to heat the house because it was just going out of everywhere. So we were like, this is ridiculous. So in the winter months, we were literally refilling the tank once a month, and to refill it's $1,000. So we were like, okay, we need a solution to this ASAP. So we decided.
And your house is pretty small. I didn't think about that till now. Your house is really small for that.
The problem is not upstairs. The problem is the basement. The basement at one point was a janky old apartment. So that it has its own thermostat down there and it's on its own thing. So the basement is not heated. Well, I guess it is heated by oil, but it just keeps kicking on. So, and up here too, like it was just cold. Everything's drafty. My windows don't close all the way. There's a lot going on. So yeah. We were like, okay, well, this is ridiculous. Like $1,000 a month in the winter months. That's like so much money. So we decided over the summer slash fall that we're going to install a wood stove. So I got a Scandinavian wood stove. I think it's from Norway. And I was like, okay, well, at least this will be supplemental because we have a ton of trees and whatnot. So we could at least heat part of the house, and that'll help with the oil. So lo and behold, this little stove, hi Nat, this little
Hello.
stove, it heats the upstairs so much that we have to shut our bedroom door so the heat does not come in, and we open up windows. So yesterday I came home from work and I'm like, oh my God, it's so hot in here. The thermostat was off the chart. It was over 100 degrees. You couldn't even see it. It was like over 100. We had every single window open and we are like, oh my God, it's hot.
Was John home?
Yeah, he was cooking. He was like, it's so hot in here. And I was like, oh my God, stop feeding the fire. So needless to say that if you are spending thousands of dollars in oil, just get a wood stove. It's like $5,000, but it'll quickly pay for itself. But
You
yeah,
could
I've never
probably
stopped
run like
chopping wood.
hydrothermal energy on that thing. Just heat up the water and boil it, and you could go
okay.
full steam
Okay, wait,
power.
but
There she
this
goes.
is a side note. We were looking at, we're possibly redoing the basement. We're talking about, okay, like how can we supplementary heat down there? And I came across, this is not a heating thing. It's like a water heating, hydro, whatever thing. There's like basically this giant wood stove that looks like a dumpster. It's like, think about the size of a dumpster, not a huge one, but like a one in the back of a business, like that size, but it's all cast iron. It's like a wood stove and it stays outside. It's outside your house. You chop down trees. It doesn't have to be nicely chopped up, and you throw them in there. And it's essentially an outside furnace. So you light it and you just throw a bunch of shit in there. And then it heats up all like it says like hot water. So it's like a wood heated hot water. So you could be self-sustaining.
That's full homestead. I like it.
It
Yeah, I
has to
like that
be
too.
so expensive. But I thought it was really cool. I saw it and I was like, oh my God.
All that money you're saving on your heating.
Yeah, but it's like the Sahara Desert in here. I'm
Yeah.
looking at getting humidifiers because, like, to put on top of the wood stove. We had a cast iron pan up there just because that's what we had, and it was burning a hole through it.
Oh
So
my God.
you need one that's like specifically meant for wood stoves. But
I'm
it's
sure
because
that's
it's so
cast
hot.
iron too.
It is, but it has a special like coating on it. It's so hot too. My plants are dying.
Oh no.
Like I need humidity back
Those
in
are
the
tropical. Yeah.
Katie.
I know. It's
You
so
need
hot.
humidifier pronto. Now's your time. It's a black. I think you need more than just one humidifier, like the
Yeah.
pot on the stove. I think you need some humidifiers.
I think I need
My
like an
question
actual
I
is,
am.
was Tony inside? Was Tony just like,
Okay.
this is chill?
No, so he loves to lay in front of the wood stove, but when I got home from work last night and it was 100 degrees, he peeks
Oh
his
my
head around the
gosh.
corner and he was panting. He's looking at me like,
Oh, he's like,
and
He's like, help me.
yeah, he's like, help me. So we opened up the slider door and he went and he laid
Oh,
outside on the deck.
poor
aw.
guy. He's probably like, I was just laying by the fire and it just kept getting hotter and hotter.
I
He's
know,
like, I
it
thought it
gets
was
too
just
hot.
me.
Normally he
Oh,
likes it, but yeah, it was way too hot in here. And my plants agree. They're all wilty. So
don't let them die.
it's good to know that we have heat, but now we need to control. We're working on control.
Yeah. Natalie, how'd you get a flat tire? Did you hit a pothole or was there like a nail or something?
I think it's construction. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at it and change it and then go get it patched today. And then
And
yeah.
then come see me.
Yeah, tomorrow. Tomorrow morning.
Are
Okay.
you guys doing Thanksgiving?
I can leave it early.
Yeah, she's coming for Thanksgiving. That works because we do like it's like an open house thing in the morning. But there's mimosas and coffee.
What time do they do that?
9.
Okay, I can leave like early. We're just having a
I
cook-off
believe
night.
in
So
you.
we're doing yeah. Cook-off party.
Did you just hear
What
me
open
fart?
house at work?
Yes, I did.
Oh man. At least you can't smell it. That sounds fun. It's like a bunch of families get together the morning of Thanksgiving to just they call it an open house. I think they just don't know how
I feel
else
like
to
they
call
need a
it.
new name. We should
They
brainstorm
do.
for them.
They do because they were calling like our Christmas party an open house and I'm like
I was like,
I
is
think
everyone invited?
open house. Are you selling it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it sounds like.
But yeah, it's like pastries, coffee, mimosas.
Oh, I will be
It's
there.
cute. You better
I don't
you
know
better
if I'll
be
be
there.
cute, but I'll be there.
Last year, it was kind of like they do it every year, and I forgot about it. Last year, we were all like ready to go walk the dogs, and then we were like, let's just stop by on the way back. So we were sweaty, wearing like exercise gear, had the dogs in the car, and everyone was wearing
I
like
was there for
princess
Thanksgiving, right?
dresses. I don't know.
I know I was there for Christmas last year. I don't remember Thanksgiving,
I
but
don't know about Thanksgiving.
Is this
Anyways,
I'll be there.
work
I just
or personal?
what was that?
Is this work or
Oh
personal?
no, it was personal.
Okay. I thought you
Work
meant
feels
at work, like your job was calling it an open house.
feels a little bit like work to me. Validate my family. But yeah, it's fun. Oh, there's ring, there's motion
Whoa.
outside. What is Tate doing? I reconnected my Tate's just walking back and forth. I reconnected my cameras because I wanted to watch them deliver the gravel yesterday.
Oh, I'm curious if you catch anything
Yeah.
good on there.
I will send
Woo.
pictures and posts once I got it done. But today I'm just getting it out.
I was gonna say, are you getting it all done today, or am I signed up to help you tomorrow?
No, no, I'm getting this done today. So we have like, I think I told
A cute place to
everybody.
sit.
Yeah, no, there's this vineyard called Biddle Ranch, and
Mhm.
basically they have gravel on the ground. They have the exact same furniture that I do, outdoor furniture. Like it's the same vibe, probably not the exact same. Which is like wooden with white cushions. And then they have like olive trees and the like those tall the pampas grass,
Mm-hmm.
and not pampas grass because that's the fuzzy stuff. It's like the grass that comes out of the
Yes, the
ground.
tall grass that Tate
Yeah,
likes.
that my dog adores. And I'm like, this is exactly what I'm going for because I'm like, I want classy but without grass. And
Classy.
so yeah, I'm basically copying that vineyard in my yard and hopefully
Nice.
it'll look good. But yeah, I was telling Katie I was up spreading gravel for 3 hours until midnight last night with the spotlights on.
Well,
I was like,
well,
the
I
sun can't
see that
catch
being a
me then.
workout.
I took
Yeah, I did it
away.
after the gym.
Hold on. I took away his food because I put it up here because he's
Aw.
eating in the background of recording, and now he's
He's
just
sitting
Oh,
so
poor
nicely.
guy. He's
well.
so
He
nice.
wants his food is right here. I took it
I know
away
he's just
because
waiting.
he's eating
Tate
while
would
Liv was
start
talking, and
yapping
now
at
he's like,
me.
"Wait, but where's
I
the?"
He's
lost
to do
Tate.
wrong.
Anyways, this is it. It's coming together. Um, I was telling Katie I don't love the quality of the gravel, but I think once I spread it and I pack it, it'll be better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it
yes, I
just
tell
needs to
myself.
be a lot of
Yes,
gravel.
well, it is. It's a lot of
And
gravel.
then
Yes. Well, I'm gonna call Tate real quick because I don't see him. How do I mute myself? Where am I?
it's at the bottom.
I'll cut this
Oh,
out.
I got new glasses.
You got new glasses.
I'm not a fan.
I need
They,
new glasses, but
they
I
feel like magnifying glasses on my eyes. Like they redid my prescription and they're like, oh, you can't see. And I don't know if it's I just got like not I just got like the base lenses because I was like I don't wear glasses all the time. I don't need like crazy cool lenses. But we've always gone to Pearl Vision and like you don't really ask for anything special. You kind of just get whatever lenses they give you and they're good. I went to Target because I live in the middle of the desert and that was the closest place I could drive 2 hours for an eye appointment.
Mhm.
Um, and I was like, yeah, just I need the contacts, but just get whatever lenses in my glasses. And she's like, okay, they're gonna be like the thick ones because you have a strong prescription. And I was like, okay.
Oh,
I'm
she
wearing
ordered
con.
you too?
Yeah, but I didn't think they would be like. I thought I'd be able to see out of them. Well, I'm not gonna be able to see because I'm also wearing contacts right now. But they, I literally feel like I have magnifying glasses on my eyes and I can't see
Can
really
you
well
show
out of
us
them.
like the width?
Yeah, how thick are they?
Okay. Okay. Let me turn you around. I think I can turn you around. I don't know if I can turn you around. I can't.
I could tell the thickness of it.
Can you see that?
Yeah,
Yes.
I
Oh
could
my
see the
god.
lip on the inside.
It
They're
just
so
feels like
much thicker.
Like when I'm moving around, I'm like I got vertigo or something.
You know what? In a month, it'll be a new billing year, so you could go ahead and just get yourself a new pair of glasses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I might have to do that.
Or the
Come here.
opposite, if you wear
Or
them, you're gonna get used to them, and then when you
I
don't
don't
wear
want they're
them,
gonna be
you're gonna be
so
like,
much
"Oh my
worse.
god, I can't see at all."
I wonder if I can go back and just use my insurance to get new lenses in those glasses
Hmm, maybe.
and be
Probably.
like, listen, I don't want these lenses anymore.
I bought these frames off of Poshmark because I really liked them. And then I what's it called? And then I brought them to Target and then put the lenses in. And
Whoa.
I too did the cheap lenses because I'm like these were supposed to be my backup, but I like them better
So
than
they're the
my
plastic ones?
yeah, they you could
And you can
tell.
see out of them.
Yeah, I see just fine.
Maybe they just did my prescription too strong.
They probably fucked up your prescription. She was just dying to make you blind. I would go back. Maybe you could go to the Target near me and be like, "Listen, I went to these desert
Yeah.
people. These desert people.
I'm gonna be
I don't
like,
know
are
what they
these
don't."
supposed to be like this?
Yeah.
I can't see.
Yeah.
But I mean I got contacts, so that's good.
That's a
That's
plus.
good. No, it's a plus. I need to
Yeah.
get more contacts. I got glasses this year instead of contacts, so I made last year's contacts like stretch throughout
Oh,
this
I
whole
did that
year.
too. Yeah, and the guy at the doing the eye exam at Target was like, "How long have you had these contacts?" And I was like, or he asked if they were monthlies, and he's like, "Okay, like how long have you been on this pair?" Like, because he knew I was out of them, and I was like, like a month. But it was like 4 months, and I was like, I really need new contacts.
Every time I'm at the end, I'm always doing that too. Like whenever I go to the eye doctor, they're like, "Oh, how long have you had these ones for?" And I'm like,
I was like,
"Oh,
we'll just
I'm
call it a month.
I'm reaching the end of its life." Um,
Yeah.
the lady that did mine, she was also a Target. She was a little bit like spicy in a way that I didn't love. She was like, "Your eyes are really dry." Like
In a
I
way I didn't love.
she told me my eyes were really dry, and she was like, "You need to just wash them with baby shampoo and then put
Your
hot water
eyes?
on them." Yeah, she was like, "Cause they're really
I don't think
dry."
that's right. I don't think you do that.
Don't put
I
shampoo in your
said
eyes.
no. I bought baby shampoo, and then I didn't go any further. I used it as backup shampoo, and I ran
Maybe
out.
they meant like
You have eye drops for
You
dry
should.
eyes.
Well, I never complained about dry eyes. She just told me that my eyes looked pretty dry.
She's just trying to sell you the baby shampoo.
I know.
maybe she gets shampoo
Um,
commission.
I think Bird just ran into the.
Oh,
That's okay. It's
wow.
okay. Anyways, what's everyone's topics this week?
I have a
Oh,
topic that I
whoa,
really want to
whoa.
do, but I need more details to look in on it. I will tell you what it's about and like the basis of it because it's like the same thing I always talk about, but there's like solid like evidence and like weird
We
stuff going on.
we should end with yours. Like we're going to be some sort of like
Like
TV
a
show where
trailer.
we're like happening next
Yeah,
episode.
like a teaser.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like
All
that.
right. Mine is a creepy
Katie.
thing. So do you
I
want me to
know.
start and then you forget
Yes.
about it?
Yes. It's
Okay.
okay. I got
Excuse my
emotional support.
handwritten notes today. I wrote
Wow.
everything by hand.
I always do the handwritten notes so I can like cross it off as I go.
Oh, no, I normally don't. I normally type everything because then when I'm looking straight, I could read it.
Mm.
But since it's daylight and we're recording, I can.
I love it. Like the
Okay.
Stone Age.
So, Liv, when you were saying with your camera outside to watch whatever, I was like, ooh, she's not going to like this. Okay. And this is another thing similar to an SW that you're not supposed to say out loud. So I'm going to spell what it is and then we're going to talk about it. And I'm
checking
curious.
my cameras
I'm
from
curious
last night.
if either of you have, well, you've heard of it, but like if you know anything about it. So it is, technically it falls under the cryptid category, but there's a lot of arguments that it's not a cryptid because of its origins. It's like a Native American thing. So it's a WNDIGO.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to call it a W for our purposes.
They call them Windy Boys.
Yeah, Windy Boy is what, and I've wanted to learn more about this, but I also haven't wanted to as well. So this is perfect.
This is half informational and then a story, but let me look at my notes. So I'll give you background information. So There's basically two categories. One is more like the Hollywood, what everyone's talking about, and one is more of like a historical Native American. So basically, they are in Appalachia and in northern New York, like by the Finger Lakes. So
Mm.
very interesting. It's two very, I think, different climates. Um, they could live in a den, but they also could live just like out in the forest. Basically, if you're going the Native American route, it was the Algonquin people who talked about these guys a lot. And basically, what they would say is it is, winters get really cold, winters get like tough for food. So it would be a person. So they would originate as a person. They're not an evil spirit. They're a person who's living out in the woods, living off the land. It's cold. It's like freezing up by the Finger Lakes. So this person gets desperate and they start eating other people. Cannibalism. And that, number one, is bad. And number two, puts like an evil curse on them. And so that is why the first description of this person, this Wendy boy, Tony's playing with his drill, is is it looks like an emaciated, like kind of really pale person with like these nasty yellow teeth that are kind of falling apart, that are jagged. And when they eat other people, basically it unlocks this curse and they become really, really like quick and fast. But they also,
Whoa.
yes, kind of like Edward Cullen.
Yeah.
But
That's what I'm
As
saying.
if you could outrun me.
they get like crazy strength, speed, but then they are addicted to eating people, like people. So then they will keep eating people.
Mm.
So then that is why they're described as looking like a sickly person, but also having this crazy speed.
And that's why they're so scary to see, because most of the other ones you're like, oh, what's going on? But this one you're like, the only reason I'm seeing you is because you want to eat me.
Because you want to eat me.
You want the sweet
Another
flesh.
another variation of it is still Native American, but like essentially it's more of an evil spirit. So it's still originated from a human, from a person, but they are able to shapeshift. So, and I'll tell you about this in one of the stories that I'm going to share with you. But basically, the idea is that they will shapeshift into somebody that you know, and then they'll try to gain your trust or scare you or whatever it is. And like they might pose as your dad or like someone you know to get close to you. And then the whole idea is to get you so scared and then they will eat you because, again, it's about cannibalism. And it's more satisfying when you're scared. So then they would use that. So they would maybe go after like the people who were dying in like the really harsh climates, eat that person, and then they'd be able to take on that person's visual identity. So they would look like that person to then make their way into the tribe. So
That's why if you hear your name in the woods, no, you didn't.
yes, so that's part of it. If you guys have ever
I
seen,
heard they whistle too.
yes, so there's,
Mm.
if you hear your name in the woods, yes, no, you didn't. If you hear, if you're whistling, like you are not supposed to whistle in the woods, and if you hear whistling in the woods, you are not supposed to like react at all. If everything gets super still, super quiet, you're supposed to just make it back to where you came from. If you hear like help, 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 probably not help, like unless I don't know, unless they're really, it's like a popular hiking spot. There was one, and I'll go into different accounts, but there was one account that had to do with that. And then no running away. Like if you're running in the woods, fine, but not like you walk out there, you see something, hear something, and then you run away. That's a no go.
I always hear running away is bad, but whenever I get home in the middle of the night after my work,
You
I
scooted.
sprint. Yeah, I scoot from my car inside, and whenever I'm doing that, I'm always thinking, I'm like, I'm not supposed to be running, but I gotta run.
But I have to run. And then the last thing, if you've seen these videos on TikTok or wherever, is that is why in Appalachia you're supposed to close all of your windows, your shades, and your blinds. And as you're doing it at night, you're not supposed to look out there. So no eye contact with whatever's out there, and you're supposed to close everything. And I have screenshots of this lady who was saying, these are like my rules that my great grandma who grew up here always told us to abide by.
I heard something similar to that, and like that's reminded. I think that's very similar.
So it
It's
says,
like Grandma said. Sorry.
Yeah, it says if it wears your face, it wants more than your fear. So if it looks, yeah, it looks like you or someone you know, it's probably not you or someone you know. A baby crying in the woods is not a baby, so don't go looking. A feral laughter in the mountains is never playful. When the mountains go silent, it's not peace; it's a warning. The louder it sounds, the quieter you need to be. So those are all basically talking about the W. So I have two stories to tell you. So the first one, I couldn't tell you what year this was, but it sounds like it was long ago. But it was from the creator slash person. Their name is the True Storyteller. But basically, it's about this guy named Jim, and funny because Jim was the ghost in our house.
Yes, it was.
But Jim, basically, he was like, I'm sick of working 9 to 5. I'm sick of doing whatever I'm doing for work. I'm going to move to the Appalachian Mountains, Appalachia. And I'm like, he sold everything and he's like, I'm just going to start over here. He bought land. He's homesteading, which made me a little nervous. And he was like, okay, I'm going to build everything. So he ended up building a cabin and a few structures, like I'm assuming like a barn and whatever. And he was living a great life. So he was there for like a month. And then he reported that there was a guy who came and knocked on his door. It was just in the middle of the day, not at night. And he said his name was Fox. And he was like kind of like an old guy. And he came over and he looked and he sounded like this guy's dad. And he's like,
Why do
that's
I
weird.
love that name?
Fox. I know. I picture like a
Fox.
silver
Hi,
hair,
Fox.
like Foxy.
Yes.
So he was like, he came to chit chat and he basically was like, you have to be careful out here. There's some really scary things out here. You got to be careful. If you ever need any help, I'm the next property over. So you just let me know. And Jim was like, okay, thanks. And then he was like, it's so weird. He looks and sounds just like my dad who died a few years ago. And he's like, maybe it's just my memory. Maybe, I'm out here by myself. I'm not seeing anyone. So maybe my mind's playing tricks on me. But like so weird. Looks like my dad who is dead. So then he talks to Fox and Fox is like, okay, well, I'll see you later. And he was like, ooh, that didn't sit right with me. Like just how he said, okay, I'll see you later. So months go by and he's like, okay, this is weird. He sees Fox around, but just like, ooh, gets a weird feeling. So he is laying in his bed one night and he starts hearing scratches on his window and he's seeing shadows of a person walking back and forth. And he does not know the rules and you have to close all your stuff up at night so no one can see in, people can't see out. And he was like, it was terrifying and it got more intense where at one point he like couldn't get up, like he was paralyzed and he didn't know if he was paralyzed out of fear because now like he's out there by himself. This weird man who looks like his dad keeps coming. There's like obviously things that are circling his house at night, looking in his windows, touching his windows. So he's like, this is weird, but whatever. So he's out trapping one day because that's what you have to do to get food when you're out there. So he's out there trapping and he saw like a weird disturbance in the snow because it had snowed. And so he walked over and he saw it was like a deer carcass that was covered up in the snow. So then he was like, oh, well, this is weird. Like, let me look at the deer carcass to then try to determine essentially what killed it. So then I could see what the predators are out here.
Yeah, you're like, is it sick? Should I not be hunting deer right now? Is it like, should I be scared?
And it was like torn apart. Like someone did not, like it wasn't a normal like bite mark with everything. It was just like shredded. And he's like, okay, this weird. So he's looking at it and all of a sudden he looks up and apparently Fox walks out of the woods out of nowhere and is like, oh yeah, hi. I see that you found like my deer carcass. Like I was going to eat it for food, but then I decided there was like better things out here, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, okay, this is so freaking weird. And so whatever. So he walks away and he's like, okay, this is like so weird. So then that night, apparently he was hearing like help, help, help in the woods. Like, help me, I need help. And it was his dad's voice. And he didn't close his windows and he was like he said that he knew he's like something was off and something was weird, but I couldn't stop myself. Like I was just too curious. Like I couldn't say no. So he walked out in the woods and saw Fox there, but then all of a sudden Fox like essentially shapeshifted into like this like out and he was like, I'm not your dad. And then
Not your dad.
Oh shit.
I'm not your dad. And was like,
Fox.
yeah. and wanted to get him scared, and then shapeshifted into that like nasty looking white human thing, and
Mhm.
it was a Wendy boy, and essentially started chasing him, blah blah blah. So he ran away, got in his truck, and left. He was like, "Okay, I am not staying here anymore." Sold his cabin, never ever went back, and he reports to this day he still sometimes will hear like tapping on his window. So in between that time, he went to a local like Native American tribe and was trying to figure out like what the hell this was. And so he was like racking his brain. So he went and he was like, "Hey, like, can you help me with this? Like, this is what happened. This is like the craziest thing. It was not my dad." And they were like, yeah, that was for sure a W. And they basically like gave some information about it and was like, he has chosen you, but he didn't take you yet because he wants to scare you. Is most like it's most satisfying to them when you're most scared. And basically he's not gonna leave you alone until he has you. So then he was like, okay, nope, never going back. Sold the cabin, and then
What
that's
do you
when the whole
do?
like, shades at night, don't look out there, don't acknowledge. If you hear something, no you didn't. If you hear your name, nope. um and then there was this last like little clip that I saw a lot of scary clips, but there was this last little clip I saw of this guy, and it's like modern day, and he was hiking around and he was like looking for one of his tools that he had, and it was like kind of in this den, and he was nervous that it was a coyote den because coyotes live in like a den, and you can like it's kind of interesting to see. It kind of looks like a big hole,
Mm-hmm.
but there was somebody saying help, like, and it's on the video, it's someone saying like help, help, and he was like, why is my, I think it was like a rifle or whatever it was, like, why is my rifle like halfway in this den, like I'm afraid to go over to it. So we went over to go get it,
Like
and
it
there
was
was someone in there
planted.
saying like, help me, I'm in here, help, help. And he was like,
Had
holy
his
shit.
rifle?
Yeah, that he was hunting and whatever. So like that's another kind. Oh,
How do you lose your rifle when you're hunting?
I don't know, like I don't know if there was like something that happened. So basically, there's like three variations. So basically, it'll look like they say like a human corpse, but really it's not a human. It's like a emaciated like old person.
Mm.
Native Americans describe it as like a sickly looking skinny man, pale, yellow, jagged teeth, and it'll have colored eyes, but it has a long tongue. But
Ew.
there's three variations that essentially tribes believe. So number one, it could be a man who went crazy and now he consumes human flesh, and then they call it a W, like that's a name for it. Number two, it's an evil spirit that lives in the woods, and it specifically preys on hunters, which makes sense about the modern day rifleman.
Mm-hmm.
Preys on hunters slash trappers, and essentially it takes the last form. It takes the form of the last thing that it interacted with. So essentially, like if that guy went in that cave, got eaten, it would take on his form and then go back to his family and be like, hi.
Does it have to eat them to take their form?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it's looking for, is to eat them. And it
And how
uses
does it take the form of like that guy's dad if his dad like had already died?
That's what I was wondering. Was the dad eaten by a W? Or
Because
maybe,
I heard another story
Maybe.
yeah,
of an old woman that had a similar experience where like her husband had died, and like one day in the woods, like she heard knocking on her door, and she opens her door and it's her husband. And
died.
yeah, and like at first she was like, oh my gosh, and then like he's like, can I come in and everything, and then she ended up like beating him up and throwing him out of the house because it wasn't him.
Him.
And then he was like, she heard like the voice shift and like just do creepy unhuman things, and he was like screaming outside her door.
Well, that's the same with this guy. Like they
Yeah.
were very similar, that it was like interactions with it looked like the dad, and then he heard like, help, come help me, and then went out, and then the guy was like, it's your dad, like I'm your dad, and he's like, I don't think you are, and then yes, he like shapeshifted and like all these crazy inhuman things. So I don't know,
Yeah.
I think there's just different Native American variations, that sometimes you eat the, like they would eat the person and then take on their form, or if you're talking more on the spirit side, they just take on somebody that you know, kind of like the not
Mhm.
deer, like it looks like them but is like a little different, and you're like, something's a little off about you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's essentially the story of the W. I did not like to hear that it is in the Great Lakes of Northern America, so
Mhm.
closer to me than
Yeah.
you. They thrive in
Finally
harsh
something.
climates. Yeah, they thrive in harsh climates because they start as humans and then they end as other people, essentially. Um, and yeah, technically they're a spirit that's possessing a human body, and that's why they're classified not as a cryptid and
Hmm.
more as like a human, which is even scarier.
That is worse. The only time I've heard of them throughout the time,
Mhm.
but because clearly I'm into the creepy. But I was watching an Appalachian Trail like documentary on YouTube,
Mhm.
and basically they came across a bunch of people living in like West Virginia, like on the
Mhm.
trail.
Yeah.
They were not hikers, they were just like middle of nowhere rednecks, and he was
Mhm.
living in like probably a drug addict. And actually this is probably not a great story because he's probably seeing things himself, but he claimed to see a windy boy, and he said it was the scariest day of his life,
Yeah.
and that's it. But yeah, the
Well, it did its job then.
Appalachia, it
If
did, and he did his job. That he got away
if
allegedly.
you look up, like, there are some terrifying videos, so I would watch your phone like this to like peek under. But there's also some really interesting ones, like, and those ones where you see something, you don't know if it's AI or whatever it is, but they're the ones
Mm-hmm.
where it's informational about a person being like, I thought I saw this was like my first hand account, this is what happened. And I think
Yeah.
I told a story very similar to this, and we didn't know if it was an SW or just a W. It was this lady who, I forget where she was living. It was like one of our very first episodes. She was outside in her fenced-in backyard having a fire, like hanging out with her dog, and she could hear walking around the property. But then it would be like walking in the leaves over here, and then all of a sudden it would come over here, and it would like be a voice being like, "Hi, like, can I come? Like, hey, hi,
No,
can I
no,
come
no.
in?" And she was like, "Oh no, no, no."
No,
I
no.
remember that. Huh.
So I think it's just interesting. I don't know. I think it's interesting that they're so smart to think about your thinking, which is very human like, to be like,
Mhm.
oh, if I disguise myself as Liv and I come to Katie's door, she's probably going to let me in. Like, very
Honestly,
similar to the
it's
Black Eyed Children.
yeah.
Hmm.
It's girl coded. A man would never think of that.
Yeah, yeah. All the W's are women, angry women.
Yes.
Yes.
Aw. Well, speaking of angry women, what's something that most angry women have? A cat.
Oh.
Okay. Do we have anything else on the
No,
SWW
W's.
topic?
but I'm afraid
I felt like this was a perfect what's it called?
transition.
Transition. I
Segway.
ruined it.
The scooter's cousin, Segway.
Scoot his cousin segue. Where do I have it? All right. So basically, this all started with Hissam sending me something on Instagram, and I never look at them on Instagram. And so he's always like, "Did you see what I sent you on Instagram?" And I'm like, "No." And then I'm like, "Tell me about it." And then he tells me about it, and he goes, "Yeah, well, I saw that some cats cause schizophrenia." And I'm like, "No, stop lying. Like, I sleep with my cat every night under my covers." And I started looking it up, and this is what I found. And so I figured this is a little more sciencey. So cats don't directly cause schizophrenia, but they are the final host to a microscopic parasite called Toxoplasma gondii. Most infected people never have symptoms, but in a small percentage, the parasite can settle in the brain and change
Wait,
behavior.
wait.
Well,
What?
Do you
You heard about
remember
this?
Miguel Uno?
yes.
Yeah.
He had a giant lump under his
I
arm.
remember
He
that.
had
I remember
cancer,
the lump.
and they had to do a biopsy. They had to go remove it.
It
Blah
was
blah
just cat
blah.
scratch fever.
He got scratched by one of our cats, and it was the same thing. It was very important that they removed it because it was close to his like whatever, and if it made it to his brain, maybe our cats would have given him schizophrenia.
Oh no.
Well, I gotta see what this is in relation to cat scratch fever because I've heard of that before, and I don't know what that is.
They don't. It was something,
Anybody?
some infection that they didn't want in the heart or the brain.
Oh.
Oh,
But go ahead. Sorry.
I'm gonna finish this until, and then I'm gonna search
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
In rats, it actually turns off their natural fear of cats. So if a rat gets it, they're not scared of cats anymore, and they wander towards danger, basically turning them
Ooh.
into cat-seeking zombies. With humans, it's a little less dramatic, but some studies link it to higher impulsivity, risk taking, and possibly increased susceptibility to schizophrenia. It's not mind control, but it does show that something tiny can influence behavior in living creatures and possibly even us. So basically, it turns something on in the brain that can interact with somebody who has like a predisposition for schizophrenia. Um, so I'm like, that's scary. And then I searched the possibility of this even happening, and there's only a certain part of a cat's life that they are even giving off this parasite. Um, like very minuscule part, and I don't even know how that works, how you could give off a parasite only for a small amount of time. But I thought that was
Yeah.
very interesting, and I'm like, if I start going crazy, blame Winston. Um, I
Blame
got
it
a
on the cat.
story though. There's a famous case of a wildlife researcher who contracted toxoplasma while cleaning cat litter during pregnancy. She described suddenly feeling reckless and emotionally flat, even driving 90 miles per hour for no reason. Sure, she's blaming. Yeah, sure, no reason. She didn't connect it to the infection until years later. She joked that she felt like she was becoming a cat person in more ways than one. And so while I found
I mean, the
this
cat.
and becoming a cat lady, um, I'm trying to like hide from the sun because it's like really awkward. I'm just gonna keep inching towards this way. Um, but this led me to I'm like, okay, did the government create this? Like, do they want us to be zombies? Are they planting this? Because I didn't even jump into this, but like, um, ticks. I've seen so many things that like the government has created ticks, and they're not natural. I think we even covered a little bit of that before. Um,
Tick-borne diseases, I know they like experiment on spreading disease all the time in as many
mhm.
ways as they can.
Yeah. Well, anyways, it led me into a few other things that are along the lines of this. So, zombie ants. Have you heard of
I've heard
zombie?
of those.
Okay, so there's so many sciencey names. So sorry. Cordyceps. I'm gonna go with that. Cordyceps is a fungus that infects ants. It crawls into their nervous system and hijacks their behavior. The fungus literally controls their movement, making them climb up plants and clamp down on leaves, basically turning them into puppets. So the fungus can grow out of their heads and spread its spores. That's horrible. It's real, it's horrifying, and its nature at its most sci-fi. Scientists say it's similar parasite evolved that could survive mammalian body temperatures, so it theoretically could do something similar to humans in the future.
Oh.
So that's a
Yeah,
little
they're
creepy.
giving you a warning. They're like, we're developing this thing to create human zombies. So
Uh-huh. Speaking of rabies. Um,
Mm,
rabies is crazy.
So
yeah.
rabies, I was determined at first. I'm like, okay, is rabies something the government made? Um, but basically, rabies rewires behavior just like that fungus. It specifically attacks parts of the brain that controls fear and aggression, making peaceful animals turn violent, unpredictable, and bitey. Because biting is how rabies spreads. That's kind of funny. That's like it's a bitey. It's nature's real, verified example of a disease that manipulates behavior for its own survival. That's why sometimes some scientists call it nature's zombie virus. Sorry, I'm very
Wait.
2D right
How
now.
does rabies help survival? Because it.
No, it helps the survival of the virus because it makes you
Oh,
crazy
okay.
and want to bite people.
So
Yeah.
then it spreads it. Okay.
So I was like, okay, did the government create rabies? Um, so there's a conspiracy that rabies was created or weaponized by the government, but there's no scientific evidence for it. It's more of like folklore speculation. But the truth is kind of cooler, and it's far older than any modern government, and has been documented in stone tablets of Mesopotamia around 2000 BC. Ancient civilizations already knew there was a mad dog sickness that caused rage, biting, and death, meaning rabies existed thousands and thousands of years before modern labs or governments. So, yeah, rabies. Um, rabies causes a fear of water, which is interesting. Drooling, of course, biting, aggression, personality change, and near 100% death rate once symptoms start. So if you get bitten by
Mhm.
something
There's no
rabid,
cure.
that's crazy.
You know what I just Googled while you're
So if you're
talking?
out there, didn't you had don't you can't you get a rabies shot though?
Or
Hmm.
it's either there's no rabies shot for humans or there's no cure. I forget which one it is. I think it's no cure, but I don't remember.
I think if you think you were in contact with something with rabies, you have to get a shot immediately. And
Hmm.
then but if you don't if your symptoms start before you get the shot,
Yeah,
then you're gone. So, which is
This
crazy.
sounds like the W. It's a crazy
kind of.
person in the woods who wants to go around and bite people.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Okay. So the first scientific work on rabies came much later. In 1885, Louis Pasteur created the first rabies vaccine. Governments began managing rabies in wildlife in the 1900s, and in the 1980s, oral rabies vaccines dropped from airplanes for wild animals, leading to rumors that the government was spreading the disease, even though it was medicine, not the disease. Sure
Of
was.
course.
Um,
Sure thing.
hmm So yeah, that's all I got. I just thought that was quite interesting. Um
I agree.
and I
Rabies is
now I want to look ticks. What was I going to search? Oh, what was scratching cat disease? What is that? Cat
yeah,
scratch fever.
Cat scratch
yes.
fever.
Whatnot.
Cat scratch fever.
I was just looking up why, and it's very similar because I always heard that too. If you are pregnant and you have a cat, you shouldn't clean their litter box. Someone else should.
Mm,
And it's for that
Hmm.
exact same, whatever you said, toxa, whatever. And it's something
toxoplasma.
that is found in like raw meat and apparently cat litter, poop,
That's why you can't
feces.
have sushi either, I think.
Yeah, it's the same
Yeah.
thing. Some toxa, whatever. Interesting though that cats
Hmm.
produce that.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not the same as cat scratch fever, also called cat scratch disease. But they both involve cats and do get confused a lot. So cat scratch fever is caused by Bartonella hennealase, and that's a bacteria, and the
Mhm.
Toxoplasma is a parasite. Um, and you get it from cat scratches or bites, especially from kittens. So Uno probably got it
We had Calicodia
from yeah
kittens.
when we got
Yeah, Kelly and
cat,
Cody.
and then okay, so that's from a cat scratcher bite. The toxoplasma is from cat feces, contaminated soil, or undercooked meat, and that's like the undercooked meat is kind of random, and in that like lump of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Soil
Speaking
cats for meat.
Yeah, speaking of symptoms for cat scratch fever are a fever, swollen lymph
Lymph
nodes,
nodes.
fatigue, headache, and rash. It
Mhm.
does not
Hmm.
affect the brain, and there is usually
Oh,
no long-term danger. It's usually mild and goes away. Um, the symptoms of toxoplasmosis, I think that word changes every time I say it. There's often no symptoms, but can cause flu-like symptoms or in rare cases mental or behavior effects. It is possibly linked to changes in the brain, and it can persist in brain tissue for life, but rarely causes harm. So you get that once, and it could be in your body forever, and most people never know.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Cats. I don't know. Are they worth
Scratch
it?
fever.
I want a cat. Someone around here is giving away cat black kittens.
I want a
Um,
black kitten so bad.
I know, me too. But I think Tony would eat it. But I do have rats in my barn because obviously there's grain and stuff out there. So I do need a barn cat. But I think I'd feel really bad leaving it out there.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, if you got a duo of them, two barn cats, and then you got them specifically for that, and then I don't know, do you have any sort of heat outside?
You could build them like a little kitty shack, like a
I think
doghouse,
like
but
a
like
little,
nicer.
yeah, like a little insulated.
Yeah,
Like you're not supposed to heat your barn. Um, but
yeah.
maybe like
What
a
about like a
little
little light for little chickadees, like to keep them warm?
For them, yeah, that would be okay. I have that. I have one
Yeah.
because I did have chicks. But yeah,
Hmm.
I was thinking about it. Little kitties.
Aw. Yeah, I think like barn cat here totally fine. It doesn't get cold enough. Like it probably gets in the 40s and 30s at night sometimes, but it doesn't snow or anything. But near
Mhm.
you, I feel like a barn cat. Like I was
You're
actually
crazy.
researching this because the other day when it was raining, it was 51 degrees inside my house, and
Mhm.
I was like, the dogs were all curled up. Winston was trying to like get under my covers, and I had like a sweatsuit on plus my robe over it, and I'm like, I'm cool being cold. And then I like searched on ChatGPT. I'm like, is this okay for like, are my animals cold? And they're like, well, since you have a German Shepherd mix, like the cold could cause stiffness and like joint
Aw.
problems for them. And then they're like, but it's going to affect your cat more because your cat's so little, has problems like regulating heat. And so if he's moving around, he's probably fine. But if he's trying to sleep, he's probably really cold. And I'm like, oh no, I've been like tough loving them forever. I'm like, I have like 12 blankets. I'll be just fine. We don't need to pay
I think
$700
that's
a month for heat.
Zion's just snoozing
I
over
think
here.
that's so funny that
Aw,
you classify that as cold because today it's warm here. It's in the 50s and I have every window open.
I know. Well, no, I was just like, do you know how
I know.
interior temperature is usually like 61,
Mhm,
62?
mhm.
And
No,
it
I
was
know.
colder outside, but like inside it was
Inside it was.
51. And I was sitting on the couch, kind of just like
Oh, I
chilly.
keep it warmer than that. I keep it like 68 inside.
I know. And I'm like, if it's under 50, I'll turn the heater
Yeah.
on. And I'm like, I've definitely developed a
Under
dad
50?
thing. Yeah, I
Poor
have
Winnie, he's
blankets.
like quaking in his
Let's
little
see.
boots.
Well, Winston will sleep on like on my pillow with me. He'll get into the covers and sleep between Hassam and I, and then both the dogs will lay at the end of the bed. So we're all warm. We're all fine.
Cuddling
But
together.
until I kick them off,
Yeah, then
they're like,
getting up. You just don't want to get up. That's my issue. Like if it's cold, I'm
yeah,
like, I don't want to get out of bed.
that is the problem because I wake up in the morning and it's at the coldest moment. Like going to bed is fine, but waking up and it's like
Hmm.
40 something out, and I'm like, there's no way I'm getting out of bed right now.
Where I'm the
Well,
opposite.
wait.
I'm like ripping off covers. I'm opening up windows. I'm like, the fire's too hot. It kept the house too hot. The other night, John and I had
Yep.
to open up every window and take like layers of covers off because we are like, poor Tony was like, he had to jump on the off the bed. He was too.
Aw, that happens to me because I have so many blankets though. Like I'll go to bed in a sweatsuit, and then I have a comforter. I have like a down
Mhm.
comforter, and then like a couple more blankets, and then I'll have the animals on me. So I'll go to bed,
Hmm.
and I'm like, this is good, and then I'll wake up in the middle of the night just sweating, and I'm like,
Super
why
hot.
am
That
I
happened
wearing
at
so
my house.
much?
You had to
It
go get
did.
an ice pack out of my comforter.
I did. I did. Yeah, so Katie's house is so hot. I think because I'm used to my like sleeping in 50 degrees.
Yeah.
Katie's house was so hot. I got out of bed just like dripping sweat. So I grabbed ice packs from her freezer and I had
Went
to
back to bed with the
I
ice
put
packs
one on my head and one behind my neck, and I'm like, I can't do this.
on.
And I almost opened her window, but like windy boys, I'm not opening a window
You
in the
should have
dark at night,
closed the
especially
door to keep the
now I
heat out.
know. Now I know.
But
But
now,
yeah. Well, and John was because when we were going to bed, John was debating, like, as I he knows he lives in that house. He was like,
yeah.
"Yeah, I don't know if they want the door open or closed for the heat," but he left it open when he left, and I'm like, "Oh, that's nice." And
Yeah.
then,
Well,
yeah,
it's
now I
something that
know.
we're getting used to because in every other house that we lived in, the heat just comes through the vents. So it doesn't matter if
Yeah,
the door's open or closed. But on this one, the heat comes from the wood stove in the living room. So we have to
Yeah.
remember, like, shut the door if you want it to be cold.
yeah.
Hmm.
That's so funny. I feel like Winnie would love the wood stove. He would curl up in a widow ball.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh.
We have he'll find like a ray of sun and lay in the ray of sun.
Oh.
He loves it. But that little turd will sleep all day and then rage at night.
Where is he right now?
He, I think he's outside.
With
I haven't
Tate?
fed them yet, so Tate, no. I made Tate come inside because he was wandering. So Tate's right here.
He's a wandering boy. I know I
Oh.
got Zion right here.
Wandering Willie. Yeah. Well, Natalie, I think I'm. Aw. He slowed down. He was raging because you took his food away.
Yeah, he was
Hmm.
tiptoeing too much.
He's like, where did it go?
Mom, I'm still hungry. I was saving that for later. Our newest, so Hassam's dad is very much an animal guy. and he has a cat, doesn't get along with our cat, but our cat loves his dad. And so when we were away, we had his dad feed Winston. And so now Winston gets all like he'll like weave between like your feet and like want all the love, and then he'll start leading you inside. He'll be like, "This is where my food
He's
is.
like,
Come
come
get me."
on, there's some
Yeah.
food in here.
And so recently he's been getting multiple dinners because he's been swooning like Hassam's dad to feed him while we're both at work, and then we get home and we're like, "Where's Winston? We can't get Winnie inside. Why?" And then he runs in, and we when we feed him, we're like, "Oh no, what a boy! He knows how to work the
Smart.
You know,
system.
the system.
He does." Pull one over on us.
Mm-hmm.
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 Nat, you
Guys,
want
we're
to
all
end
on the
your
same
teaser?
page.
Yeah.
Grace? Yeah,
All
let
right.
us know.
I gotta do like the voice. Next time on 17 Skaters Podcast, we'll be discussing Hurricane Melissa and Jamaica, and we'll be discussing Jamaica's UN-backed 2030 Smart City initiative that was announced early this year, I think January. Um, some interesting storm radar patterns, including the storm going completely offline for a moment in time, as well as Jamaica's natural resources that are, I guess, now being mined since there's nothing on Jamaica anymore after this storm,
Yeah.
and some other suspicious activity with the storm, including it being um someone. So basically, I'll just say this part as a little teaser. So there's this girl, basically her name is Melissa, and in August she was at work doing non-work things. She's like, I wonder what storms like have my name. So she looked up like
I love
different
that though.
Hurricane Melissas, and this was in August, and it came up, and she screenshotted it. It said Hurricane Melissa, like one of the worst 2025 storms that like blew through Jamaica or something.
In
And it
October.
said this in August,
Yeah.
and it said October storm. So basically, it was
That's
planned.
crazy.
So I'll be discussing Hurricane Melissa and
We
other
should get Sunny Skies
oddities.
on this podcast.
I
That is
know.
really interesting. And also, and I'll bring this up when we talk about it, but there's this lady in my run club. She's a nurse and she's on some like deployment team. And so she gets deployed out and I'll send you guys some of her pictures. Like it was wild. Like there was people with like, help, we need water. And her response team was like,
And this is Jamaica.
yeah, she just came
Mm.
back. Basically, she had to be able to hike 5 miles in like X amount
Mhm.
of minutes, like carrying all this gear. And she went in and was giving like first aid to people, like pulling people out. That she posted pictures of all
Aw.
the hospitals. They're just like
Mhm.
completely demolished. And she was there with like a satellite phone, like swimming through the water, like saving people. It was crazy.
Wow.
Mhm. Yeah, and I guess some of the reporting, like on the storm damage, was like, oh, like, yeah, it was bad. There was like destruction. It's not that bad. It's fine now. And like, well, actually, in Jamaica, it's really bad, and they don't want people to know like how bad it is.
Yeah.
So
That's odd.
You want to know what's interesting too about what you just said is of course, I'm always on TikTok, and
Mhm.
there was this trend going around, like everyone in the United States saying like, "Oh my God, Hurricane Melissa is so bad," and then it said, and then there's the Jamaicans, and they were like swimming, doing backflips, riding
Mhm.
scooters, like pretending to scuba dive, dancing, like doing all this stuff, and then they were like kind of making light of it and being like, "Well, like we shouldn't worry about it because they're not that worried," and I was like,
Yeah, I
I
think
feel
that's
a
not
little
the case.
worried.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
they don't
Yeah.
want you to know.
Oh
So
my
yeah,
god.
Um
I'll
I
probably.
do remember seeing a clip and me being like, is this AI, is this real, of the hurricane, and then it just going off the radar and then coming back. Like I do
And
remember seeing that.
changing
Like
trajectory and.
clouds. Nat, didn't you talk about something with the cloud, like cloud seeding or
Mhm.
some,
Mm.
so like storm
I feel like I might have
creation?
Or
talked
it's
about
their
that too.
ionosphere and the HARP facility
Yeah.
in Alaska. They're controlling it all. Um, but yeah,
Dang,
just
Alaska.
another weird smart city coincidence.
I'm
I
like
just thought of
searching
something.
Hurricane Olivia right now.
Hurricane
We
Olivia
should take a podcast trip. Like, you know how National Park
should.
After Dark does like little trips? we should do like our next vacation. We should do like a sister trip to like Alaska to then go look at the cloud seeding or like, something that
Try and break into the HARP facility.
Mm.
Yes. We're out here.
We're out here,
Boots on the
baby.
ground.
Boots on the
There,
ground. Live from the facility.
there
They do
was a
ghost
Hurricane
tours. I saw
Olivia
them live. They do
in
ghost tours out here.
2018. They do. She's a pretty hurricane. Look, I'm so gorgeous.
She's
So
pretty.
gorgeous. She's a category 4 in Hawaii.
Oh.
Hawaii.
Dang, Maui.
There's
Okay,
an active storm named Caitlin right now.
Where?
Form reached tropical storm. Wait, the name Caitlin would only be used if a storm. Oh, it's. Oh wait.
Is
The
it code?
2026. No, it says the 2026 Atlantic hurricane name list is Arthur, Bertha, Cristobal. Oh, so they go in ABC order. So they.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But it looks like 2026 is not on the list. So never mind. I don't have.
Yeah. Not yet.
Darn it. Oh, so they
haven't planned
predetermine
those
the
yet.
names.
They go in ABC order and they
release the
never.
names.
Yeah, which that's why a lot of people were like, Melissa, they decided that they're going to use your name this year if they get to M. But what was weird about it is they said the timing and where it was.
Yeah.
So, and I looked up Hurricane Natalie and there's a tropical storm Natalie from 1964 that was in Mexico and Cyclone Natalie in 1973. That was a weak tropical cyclone that struck Fiji. So I got no crazy storms.
I like the
Wowza.
cyclone.
Yeah. Wow, I'm surprised it took them so long to use Olivia as a name, but 2018 I feel like peak people like naming their kids Olivia.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
I know a lot of Olivias.
I know, they all stole my name.
It's okay. We all have very general names. I know a lot of Caitlins.
Yeah,
I thought
they gotta
I used
come
to
up with
think
like crazier names for storms.
I used to think that Caitlin was like Katie had the generic name, and then me and Natalie were very like unique. And then we started growing up, and then I met like a couple more Olivias, and I'm like, wait, no,
We all have generic names.
You're like, wait, no, that's my name.
Yeah, I'm like, no, you gotta meet Olivia.
Yeah. Oh, I
Like
remember that.
I feel like I have to tell this on the pod super quick. There was
Yes.
this really odd kid on my bus. Jonah Hill. No, it wasn't Jonah Hill. He always had his backpack open, filled with like so many books.
Wait, do you know Jonah's last name?
Sabias.
Okay,
Yeah.
not the Jonah I know. Another generic name.
Shout out Jonah. I wonder what you're doing today. He always ran everywhere. He had a stench coming off of him. His hair was really curly. And like at first, like he lived on a farm with like chickens, and at first we were like, oh no, his parents don't take care of him. But he had this beautiful sister named Olivia. And I remember like when we went into elementary school, we'd get dropped off, and we had to stay in this little pretty much like a pen. They
had a gate for us.
They had a gate for us, and they're like, you had to stand here, and when the first bell rings, we'll let you pass it. And so I was just standing there waiting for the bell to ring. Obviously, I didn't have my morning coffee, so I was not ready to speak yet. And Jonah comes up and is like, I have a sister named Olivia. And I'm like, nice. And and he's like, you gotta meet Olivia. And I'm like, nah. And then he like walks away, and then he would come back every like minute or two and be like, you gotta meet Olivia. And then finally the bell rang. I power walked in, and he chased me down the hallway. He was like, you gotta meet Olivia. And at that point, like he wanted me to meet Olivia. And then I think that's when I was friends with Becky. Like our friendship goes way back, and so we just we ran away. She protected me from Jonah. And I think I gave in and met Olivia, and they were on our bus. So yeah,
they were on our bus.
I could tell you right where he lives.
That is when you realize there were other Olivias in the world.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm not the only. And
you're like, I'm not a fan of this.
No, I was still delusional. I was like, wow, we're so unique together. Like, even Jonah thinks it's so unique that like there's another Olivia.
Like, wow, it's crazy.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah.
But there's no more liver and onions.
No.
That's just me.
That you know of.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
Anyway.
we're supposed to end podcasts really quick because then it gets finisher rates if anyone listens. So thank you guys for watching. Bye.
Bye. Happy Thanksgiving.
Two wheels are better than four. From the mountains to the shore, find us rolling up to the pub where 17 scooters club.